guys are going to have to deal with me watching the replay and hoping it doesn't bug out in true DCS style. Fighting Beco, I don't believe I've ever fought him before. He was in a Viper, I was in the Mirage, as you would expect from me. So setup this year is a little different. We're spawning line abreast, 400 knots, 15,000 feet. We set our aircraft up, configure it however we like, which for me is a lengthy process in the Mirage. I did skip a couple steps because ain't nobody need IFF for a one-on-one. Turn in, when ready. I've already got eyes on him there. That speck in the distance is him, so we coordinate the turn in rather, so we don't get an unfair advantage. Now I dipped a little below the merge height here in that turn, so you see me clawing the altitude back, getting up my speed. Once the turn in's committed, 15,000 feet, speed's whatever the fuck you feel like. Over the top, standard merge for me. He's gone under, or level rather, which is exactly what I want, especially against a Viper. It means I can just drop on him at leisure. I can see what his nose is doing really clearly. Here I thought he was turning into me, which I had a game plan for, but he wasn't turning into me. He lost sight of me in the merge, as it turns out, and the poor soul gave me his tail and dumped his speed. You can hear me riding the brakes there. First burst was a really bad whiff, but kick the rudder over, sweep the guns across him, and that is the first fight of round one. For me, that was pretty done and dusted. That's actually one of the fastest kills I've had in a neutral merge, at least for like a year or so. I used to have some pretty quick ones against Tawny and the boys before they figured out my number. Now I rarely survive them. Just because he lost sight, I think, and also I suspect he's not used to dealing with the Mirage. We were talking, I think you'll hear this towards the end when I did actually pick up the live recording, so I'll try and splice it on. He doesn't have the Mirage, so he doesn't really have the measure of what it can do. This is kind of an important thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that unless you actually have flown a module yourself, you can't fully understand its capabilities. There's always, there's what you can see other people do, and there's what it says it can do in the book, but there's always that little thing that you'd only know from flying it. The feel of it, the way the controls are set up, stuff like that. Anyway, rules are we gotta land just to prove that we can actually land the damn thing. Doesn't have to be a clean landing, so you can see me doing my standard way too fast, way too low approach, just riding the brakes all the way in. An upper's got a decent enough runway, and I got the braking chute, so it's no biggie. I'm just trying to make sure my descent rate's not too insane. Butter it in, let the ground effect take over. Now, it's actually interesting to note, you can't really feel the ground effect that much in DCS. Certainly with something like the Mirage, you'd expect it to float for days, but it doesn't, which I find interesting. I've been playing IL-2 for the past couple days, and the Spitfire floats so much, it just never wants to settle. So I would have expected something similar from the Mirage, but there you go. Just one of those things that you don't really notice when DCS is all you play, but the moment you go to another sim, you do pick it up. Anyway, it's best of 3, as was the format last year, so here's fight 2. See me going through my usual startup, well, not startup, but setup. Not bothering with the IFF, lights are already on, no need to do that. You can see me turning the exterior lights off, just so I have the advantage of not being visible from space. The Mirage is really hard to spot when it's got its nose on you. In fact, it's hard to spot in general, but especially if its nose is on you, it's got such a small cross-section, you can pretty much never see it coming. Now, I don't know where the splice is going to be, where I actually remembered to hit the record button, so if I get cut off mid-sentence, bear with me. See, similar merge setup. He's actually off-axis, like he kind of began a horizontal turn early, which is within the rules. But same for me. I don't go pure vertical this time, I kind of oblique it. We might need to record this from a replay. Thought I had myself all squared away. Neck minute. Oh, dangerous. Thank fuck for the Mirage's air brakes. Oh, he just tucked his nose under. That's not what you want to be doing. Good recovery. He's getting his speed back up. I'll watch my G's, watch the ground, watch the overshoot. There's the hits. Well, let's hope we can fucking pull this one out of the replay, eh?
At least that time I saw you.
Good fights, man. Sorry I couldn't drag it out a little longer.
It's alright.
This thing pulls some pretty ridiculous snapshots. I don't think many people expect it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have it, so I can't, I got what I got. Good fight.
Good fights, man. See you again next year?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I can, fingers crossed the replay for this actually save properly and doesn't bug out, in which case I will splice this one in from the replay. Won't have my live comms, but it is what it is. And that is round 1.